Hey girl, hey, it's your girl, that mom who cleans, and I am back with another video. My name is Jolene, and I am a military wife and stay-at-home mom of 2 boys under 3. Thanks for clicking on this video. To see more, just please click that subscribe button that you see down below and that little bell that's right there on the bottom right. Just click on it. You know you want to. That way you won't miss any uploads that I put on this channel, and we'll be up to date with everything. So for the newcomers that are here today, hey girl, hey, once again. And in my channel, you'll really find realistic cleaning, laundry motivation, tips, DIYs, and just overall homemaking content. I believe that us moms, it's really important for us to have a safe, judgment-free zone where we can just learn from each other and talk about, our homemaking stressors, the stress of the kids, any and everything that you can think about. I'm really mainly showcasing that it is okay if you don't have a non-aesthetically pleasing home, and if your home is very much lived in and you feel like it could never get clean. I'm here to tell you that that is okay. We all live differently. We all have different situations, so it's understandable to not have the type of home that we see showcased on the internet nowadays, because I know a lot of us tend to feel like the peer pressure, and it's okay to not be a part of that. Like, this life is very, very real for a lot of us, so having an aesthetically pleasing home isn't on everybody's radar, and that's honestly fine. So I just want to let you guys know that this is really a safe space, and it's never too late to learn how to clean, whether you're 80, 90 years old or you're a 12-year-old that just has never been taught. I really, really would like my page to be that place where you can come and learn how to clean, how to declutter, and how to organize. Just all of the basics, all the way to expert levels. I'm not an expert at all. I'm just a regular 27-year-old mom that's really just trying to get by with this cleaning stuff, because these 2 kids really make me work for my money. So in this clip here, I am in my kids' room. I will be removing the things that's off their walls and getting their dresser together so their dad and I can wrap it. This day was a very stressful day, I'm not gonna lie, because both of the boys decided that they wanted to have fevers, and they wanted to be sick, and everyone wanted to be clingy. So the boys were very unhappy because I was not able to give them that attention that they wanted. But anyway, as you can see, when I removed the second shelf, that smoke shadow right there, that's from me lighting a candle. I didn't know that it was going to leave residue, but I did get it off with some with some Dawn power wash, or just even the regular kind, and I use my Rubbermaid spin brush to get it off the wall. So it was really just a wet rag, some Dawn, a little bit of LA Awesome that you can find at your local Dollar Tree, and it got all of that off perfectly fine, to be honest. I didn't film it because my phone was dying a lot during this process, so it was a lot of things that I really did not catch. But yeah, so I'm labeling these shells just to make sure that I do not lose the nuts, and I like to label the screws that come with whatever it is that you're building or unbuilding. I like to label it with a with a note, like one of those sticky notes, just so you can know what the screws are for, So here I am just removing the curtains and everything of that sort, and I will be placing everything in bags so their dad and I can just get ready to wrap up the dresser and call it a day. So it wasn't really much to do with in my kids' room. Their room, other than the bathroom, was really the easiest room in the house because of the simple fact that all they really had was their toy chest, their dresser, and their beds. Their bed frames, I tossed that in a trash because I wanted to get them new beds, and obviously everything in their closet went into bags. So yeah, it wasn't really much to do here. So yeah. Also, ladies, today you'll see every single room I will showcase except for the bathroom, because like I just said, it wasn't really much going on there. And the topics that I really want to hit overall will basically be just things that I learned throughout this moving journey that might be helpful for you, because you might be a military wife yourself, or even just a regular civilian that is moving to a different state, and you don't really know much or where to begin when it comes to moving to another state. So today I kind of just want to talk about the things that I learned when it came to this move that really might help you guys as well. Anything to help make that transition smoother, I'm all for, because our move here from Brooklyn to California, like, they threw us to the wolves, and it took a really long time for me to get established with everything, but now I know better. So I definitely want to share everything that I learned with you guys. Alright, so boom. One thing that I really want to hit more than anything is do not wait last minute. Oh my gosh, you would probably think that you don't have a lot of items and it's not so much work that you have to do. Like, you'll always feel that way until it's time to start packing and you become overwhelmed. One of the strategies that I used was just prioritizing one task at a time, one room at a time. So in our kids' room, the priority was getting all of their clothes into trash bags and everything off their walls. Once you just keep it to one priority, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I have to do their clothes, then empty out the closet, oh no, I need to look through this and throw away toys. Like, if you think about all of the tasks at once, you will definitely get overwhelmed. But if you just choose to only focus on one thing, then I promise you it will become much, like, you won't have so much nerves, you won't be just anxious, and it definitely helps to do everything ahead of time. So with me, I had about maybe a week left in this video before we had to leave the apartment. So I left a week worth of clothes for my kids, and everything else went to bags and was getting put away, so we can just move it out. Setting aside everything that you will need for the time frame that you'll be in the apartment for is definitely a game changer, because that way that everything else that you have loose in your home you do not need. So once you just take out a few toiletries, a week's worth of clothing for your family members, everything else is free game to be packed up and put away to the side. So that way that you have the bigger nitty-gritty parts out of the way, but yet you still have items that you can use up until your last day. So please try that, because that will definitely minimize the stress that you guys will deal with. And once you finish one area, you just scoot on over to the next one. So that way you can just hit everything one by one, and hopefully will feel less overwhelmed. Also, if you guys didn't get your orders yet, this is for the military part of the viewers. If you guys didn't get your orders yet, it's still smart to pack everything up, but not to the extent of like, oh, let's just only leave 1 week's worth of stuff out. You know what I mean? Because if you don't know how long you'll be in the apartment, you can't plan for how many outfits to leave out and X, Y, and Z. So what I think would be safe, if you do not have an exact date, but you know that the time frame that you'll be moving, just pack up the things that you haven't touched within the last 2 weeks. Whatever item you did not touch at all for the past 2 weeks, pack it all up, because what makes you think that you'll all of a sudden be using it now when you're about to move and move to a whole different state and ship everything off? So that way you can minimize your stress while still having majority of your items, since you'll still be living your everyday life until you get the assignment date and all of that on when your family will be moving. And I think that definitely helps, because the more things that you get done ahead of time, the less stress you'll be dealing with when it's actually the day to leave. So I finished putting all of the clothes in bags. So this was a different day where Dad and I now removed the remaining of the clothes that I had in the dresser that I was using for the week. And I was just going to transfer that to their closet so we can empty out the dresser to get it wrapped up. And the wrap that we're using, we had got from Home Depot. If I'm not mistaken, it was about $24, and it wrapped up a good amount of things for us before we had ran out. So here, this is me helping Dad get all of that situated. When it comes to the post-moving side of things, if you are like us, if you're in a situation where the state that you are moving to, you don't have any family, you don't have any friends, and of course your husband or wife, whichever person is in the military, don't know their new co-workers and bosses, you're going to really be on your own when it comes to unloading everything once you get to the said state that you're moving to. So I suggest you plan for movers, because if you don't have help to unload the truck in your new home, like no friends, no family in that state, the smartest thing to do would be to hire movers. It will be your job to search up. What I did was I had searched up movers within the zip code and city that we will be living in, and I called all of them up and asked for a quote, and the company that gave me the best quote was the company that I went with, and I scheduled the delivery for the day that we would reach the said state that we were moving to. Now, when it comes to moving companies, of course they'll ask you like, what time would you like us to come, yada yada. I personally had them keep the time open up until like the day before, because we didn't know when we were exactly going to reach Texas, because my family, we was going to drive from the Bay Area to the part of Texas that we're living in. So what I did was tell the movers the day that we're expected to be there, but left the time open up until the day before. So I'm very happy that I did that, because with it just being us and this being our first road trip as a family of 4, it was very important that once we reached Texas, that everything would go smooth sailing when it comes to unloading the truck. So yeah, I didn't want to spend that money, but at the same time, like, would you rather just spend the money one time and have peace of mind moving into your new place, or do you want to keep that money in your pocket but now have to figure out how you're going to get everything to the new apartment, upstairs 2 flights or whatever the case may be? So definitely look into movers if you're a family that doesn't have any friends or family members in the state that you're moving to help you guys out. That would definitely be the smartest thing to do. Here we're in our bedroom putting all our shoes away. As you can see, I had labeled one bag back there. I don't remember who bag it was, but I just labeled it so we knew who bag was for what. Because one thing that I did not want to deal with was having a whole bunch of unmarked bags, and when we get to our new apartment, I'm now going through each and every one of them just to get what I'm looking for. So definitely try labeling the trash bags, whether you label it on the inside or the outside. It's definitely a game changer for sure. Switching over to the top of the closet, we're now just putting all of the miscellaneous stuff away. I like to prepare and make sure that I have everything set up in terms of the backup items that we would need. While Dad was putting everything on the bed, I would be going through them quickly and putting them inside of that box. Now, for the Karens that's out there, we changed our sheets, okay? I also do not like anything on my bed, like anything that don't belong on it, so I wasn't upset that we had things on the bed right now, because we were getting things ready to move, and we're changing our sheets, so that was the least of my concern. But you see those footballs right there, y'all? Let me tell y'all about them footballs. Last year, we were invited to the 49ers stadium, which is not too far from us in San Jose, California. We were invited by John Lynch and his family, and John Lynch is the owner of the 49ers. That Christmas party was so much fun, y'all. And we got 2 footballs signed. Can you believe it? When I say I'm guarding that thing with my life, because I need to make some money in the future with these footballs, okay? Now, I don't know anything about football. I don't watch football, so I didn't know much about the 49ers, but I can definitely say their owner, John Lynch, he is super nice. Or he could just be faking, because when it comes to PR and dealing with kids and peoples, if you're having a holiday party or something for your foundation, I'm sure that won't be the time he'll choose to be an a-hole. But for the most part, our family really enjoyed ourselves, and they gave the kiddos really nice goodies for Christmas. They had got some books, some toys, and onesies, a whole lot of onesies that was about 1 to 2 sizes bigger, which I'm happy for, because y'all, one thing that I hate, if you getting me a gift and it's clothing for these kids, please do not buy a person like the size that their kid is currently wearing. Always size up, because these kids really would wear 1T, 2T today, and by the end of the week they're on 5T. You know what I mean? So I always size up when getting items for people, because you don't know how fast these kids gonna grow, and these kids definitely do grow fast. But over here we're just really finalizing all of the little miscellaneous stuff that we wanted to put away, and we will just close up the box after that. Everything that you'll see here is mainly from our closet and our nightstands, so that didn't really take much time at all. All right, the next topic that I wanted to hit was changing your medical care. Now, if you're a person, if your whole family is pretty healthy and you guys don't require any specialists, changing doctors shouldn't be much of a hassle, because you can literally just call any PCP or any family doctor to make an appointment with, so you can establish care to your new state. But on the other hand, if you are a family, like for example, I'm going to use my family. If you're a family that needs specialty care, like for example, I need hematology because I have sicklecell disease. This was something that I was born with, that I suffer with pretty much every single day. So I have a hematologist oncologist, and also every single specialist under the sun, neurology, ortho, every single one I need to see. It is a requirement for me to see. And my son, for example, my oldest, he needs eye specialist and an asthma doctor. So with that being said, what I did to make our medical care very, very smooth is, from about maybe a good month and a half before we were due to leave California, I went on ZocDoc, added our insurance, and put the specialty that I was looking for to see who would come up. So ZocDoc is a real good website to be able to look for all the doctors that are in network with your insurance. And once you put that through, whether it's a special list or not, that's when you will do the research on the doctors that come up and choose whichever one you feel like is right for you. Now, when it comes to specialists, you need a referral. If you guys know anything about referrals take a very, very long time to clear, mainly because a lot of insurances need to give authorization. So when it comes to getting the referrals, this is why I suggest doing this about a month and a half before you move, because it will take a while for it to reach the doctor. How do you get referrals? Now, you can get referrals from your PCP or your family doctor. Let's say I just got one to hematology, right? So you give your current doctor the name, address, fax number of the new doctor that you looked up, researched, and feel like is a good fit for you. Once you choose that person, you give it to your current doctor, and they will then type up the referral to send off to the new facility. Now, referrals can take anywhere from a few days or up to a few weeks to process, and that's usually because certain insurances require authorizations. Now, if you're in a rush, you can call your insurance company to get that speeded up, but if you're not in a rush, you can just wait a few days or a week or two before you call your new office to see if they got the referral. Personally, I like to wait anywhere between 2 to 7 business days, not the weekend, business days, before calling the new facility to see if they received it. Now, if they did receive the referral, this is where scheduling comes in, which is really always the easy part. You just schedule your appointment to whenever you would like to have it by. Now, one thing that I like about this process is that when you get to your new state, you won't be so overwhelmed and trying to find a provider for yourself and your family. You'll already have all of that in your back pocket, and it will just honestly be, a waiting game from there, waiting for the appointment day to come just for you to attend it. Super, super easy peasy. And it only took for you to just do that little step a month or two before, just so you can ensure that your family is straight when you get to your new destination. So here we go. Here in this clip, we are changing the sheets. Nothing fancy. We was finished for our bedroom for that day, and it was getting pretty late. If I'm not mistaken, it was like 7:30, 8 p.m. My kids' bedtime is at 8:30. So I told hubby, let's just put a pause on it so I can do my nighttime cleanup and we can get the kids ready for bed. So I had folded a load of laundry earlier, and right now I'm just putting all of that in a basket. I will be sweeping and mopping, clearing out the couch for the most part, wiping down the surfaces that's in the living room, and from there I'll be on to the next. When it comes to cleaning up, a lot of the times, like, ladies, tell me if you guys ask your spouse for help cleaning up, but then when they start helping, every single movement or thing they touch, it just feels like they're not doing it properly. So for all of that, I should have never even asked, because I knew that men, they're not gonna do it the way how we do it. So for the most part, I just had dad work on something else, whatever that was, and I was just dealing with the living room. It took me about maybe 20 minutes to pick it up. Nothing too crazy. The living room never really takes much time. It's always just placing everything that accumulated on the couch and on the floor, just placing that where they belong. I had already shut down the kitchen for the night, so the kids' food table was already put up. All I had to do was just wipe everything down. Y'all, one thing about these kids, man, is that they were stressing me out with the vacuum. They was fighting and wanting to take turns to vacuum the floor. So I just made sure that I did the first batch, and then I let them have a go for the second time around, just so they can leave me alone. Because right now my kids are at an age where they're fascinated with the vacuum. For example, Lexington right there was playing vacuum monster or whatever you want to call it. He was just running away from it every time I got near him. And here is me giving Lenny and Lexington a chance to vacuum themselves. They look so cute here. I can't. Girl, in the moment, it wasn't cute because I was tired. I was ready to go to bed and ready to put them in their bed. But now that I'm looking back at it, it is the cutest thing ever. But Lord, they was stressing me out. So now on to our bedroom. Same MO here as our kids' room. We'll be wrapping up this furniture so we can just have it off to the side. Now, back to what I was saying. So I gave you information on how to change your doctor smoothly. Please, as a recap, give yourself about a month and a half grace period if you require specialty care, so that way the referrals and everything can have time to go in. If you don't require specialty care, all you gotta do is Google your zip code, doctor near me, PCP near me, with the zip code that you'll be living in. Call them up, see if they take your insurance, and make your appointment. If you don't feel like doing individual calls, as I said before, you can just go on ZocDoc, type in PCP, type in your insurance, and boom, straightforward. Now let's talk medical records. Personally, I feel like medical records, you should get it printed out or emailed. It's best to always have your medical record on you, because if you're moving to a state that you've never been in before, you're most likely in their system, they won't be able to see the care that you received in your previous state if they don't share the same system. And if they do happen to share the same system, they still won't see everything. So if you require specialty care, it's extremely important to get all of your medical records ready from all of your specialists. You don't really need to print out your medical records from your primary, in my opinion, because primary really is just here for vaccines and little owies and boo-boos. The specialty care is really where it's at, and that's where you really need to make sure that you get all of your info from. So once you get to your new doctor, you can just hand that right to their secretary, and they'll just look everything over and scan it into your chart. That way it won't feel like a new patient, new doctor relationship once you have your first appointment, because the doctor would have already read up on everything that was going on with you, and it'll kind of be more like a this is where we left off. Now, if your provider does not allow you to print or get your medical records emailed, you can always sign a medical release form, and all you have to do there is just add the information of your new doctor, and it usually takes 24 to 48 hours for them to fax it out. Now, I recommend giving it 48 hours and then calling your new doctor's office to see if they received it. Please do not take this lightly, because there's a lot of people that requires you calling them 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times for them to really do their job. So I always give them about 2 days, and then I will call the new office to see if they got the records. If not, I'm back to calling my old office and harassing them until they do, So when it comes to all of this, it really sounds like a lot, but I stress the time frame tremendously, because the time frame is what will make or break you. If you're trying to do everything your last few days, you will be going crazy, because all of these take time. The referrals take time. Changing the doctors, looking up your doctor takes time. Everything takes time, and you want to make sure that you have everything together properly for your family, so that way when you get to your new state, you literally have everything to offer and then some. So please take my advice. I hope these tips help you out, whether you're a military spouse or just even a regular civilian that's moving to a different state. It doesn't really matter which category you're in, because we're all one, we're all moving, and the requirements don't change because of your status, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's super important to get all of this done and to give yourself time doing it done, because you never know how long it will take, and you don't want to be in your new state now harassing your old state and trying to get in contact with them to get whatever it is you need out to the new provider that you have. So to kind of eliminate all of that extra stress, get everything that I had mentioned done early. Now, we are here in the living room. This is the next night where we will be wrapping the TV. That orange thing that's over the TV is actually my throw blanket that we wanted to use as padding. We used a lot of clothing and blankets as padding for the furnitures that we ended up wrapping, or even for some of the boxes that we packed to help certain dishes not break, etc., etc. And I feel like that's a pretty smart thing to use, your whatever you already have in your home as packaging instead of buying it from the store, because all I did when we moved in to our new apartment was just a load of laundry, for the things that got wrapped with the furniture, which is easy peasy lemon squeezy. My next tip will be childcare. How do you look for childcare? Where do you look? I know it can really be overwhelming when you're, going to a new state, especially if you don't have any friends and family like us. So I'm going to give you a few tips that I did in order to help my childcare needs go smoothly. For one, the how. I personally I used to really look up on Google, but that switched over to Craigslist. I know, ladies, I know Craigslist, eBay, all them places is super sketchy, but hear me out. Craigslist is the spot, especially for childcare. Obviously, you will have to look into the person that you're considering, but I felt like I got better information and better people on Craigslist than I did on Google. When I called all of the places on Google that had availability for the month that I needed it, which was the month of July, a lot of them, their prices were absurd. The ratio, like the teacher to kid ratio, was one teacher to 12 to 20 kids, things of that nature. And I really do not like that, because I feel like my kids are still at an age where I want them to have more intimate student-teacher relationship. So my kids are currently in California. Their daycare is an in-home daycare, and I wanted to keep that in-home aspects, and Craigslist is one of the places that has that. They also have facilities as well, but they have a lot more in-home daycares than facility daycares. So what I did was, whenever I saw one that was in the area that I liked, call it up if they have the availability, all that jazz. What I had did was ask for their license number, on top of, all the other questions that I had, which would be tuition, do you guys provide meals, how are you with medication, all of those basic questions that us mom know to ask. I already inquired about that, but the license number is one thing that is super important for you to get, so you can look that person up on the state's child care website to see how long they've been open, if they had any violations, if any child passed away or got hurt within their care, all of that jazz you'll find when you get their license number. Now, I feel like the child care is one of the things that you also have to do in advance. Me personally, I was already searching up childcare from the month of May, like the ending of May. I was already calling people around, talking to them to see if they have my requirements, which was really needing them from 6 to 6 or 7 a.m. to 6. if they do potty training, teaching them how to write, do they provide food, would they administer albuterol for my son if he has asthma. All of those questions was questions that I had asked to the people that I felt like would be a fit, and we just took it from there. So once I spoke to the person that I felt like, I would like, it would be okay, that's when you can go ahead and schedule a viewing, to basically come to their facility or their home to talk in person about their business and everything, that you would be needing in childcare, and take it from there. Now me, since I was searching from the end of May, I had gave myself between 3 to 5 choices of people that I felt like checked every box and that I felt like my kids would be fine attending. So I checked all of those boxes, made sure that I looked up their license number, made sure that I plugged in the address from my new home to that daycare, and also my husband's job, like his new base, to the daycare, because we didn't want anything over half an hour. So I also had to make sure that everyone was within our range, and if they were within our range, that's when I made the appointment for the second week of July technically the first week of July I made the appointment for. Some of them ran into the second week, for my children to start the third week of July, because one thing about me, y'all, is that I don't want my kids to be coming out of their everyday routine. Like, I already knew that this move was going to mess up our routine enough, because we were driving from California to Texas. It took us about 4 days to do so. Surprisingly, our children did amazing, but I didn't know that they would be great, beforehand. So I just had to make sure that everything, would go smoothly, because it was all over the place in terms of them being taken out of their element. Like, they went from going to school every day to now helping mommy and daddy pack up the house and not going to school, and being in a car for hours and days on end for us to get to the new state. Now, my kids are only 3 and 2, so they don't understand that this was a big change. Even till this day, my oldest asked to go to his Nana house, which is our California childcare that became family to us. So it's very important that you set all of that up. Like I was saying, I didn't want to mess up their schedule, so I definitely wanted them to start school at least after a week and a half of us being in Texas, which is what ended up happening. They stayed home for about, maybe you could say, almost 2 weeks, and then on a Monday they started daycare fresh, and I am loving it. Like, y'all, I'm still in shock at the fact that I'm in a whole different state. Like, I'm looking around my apartment, I'm looking around outside, and it's a whole new scenery than where I came from, and it's so crazy, because it's like, damn, California was my home for the last 3 years, and I'm literally not there anymore. It sucks, but at the same time, it's awesome, because I enjoy traveling with my family. I enjoy, creating new memories, and for my kids don't know what's going on right now, but we do, and we'll be able to explain all of that to them growing up, which is why I want to document it as much as I can. But that's really about it, ladies. That's all the tips that I have for you guys when it comes to the move and how to help minimize your stress. Hopefully these tips that I gave actually would help someone in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's just one tip, comment down below and let me know if it helped you, or if you will take that under consideration while moving, so you can alleviate and eliminate a lot of the unnecessary stressors. Hopefully you guys like this video. I would love if you like, comment, subscribe. Please let me know any type of video that you would like to see. If there's a specific style or type of video that you would want me to hit, if you're struggling with anything cleaning, anything organizing, don't be afraid to comment down below, and I will definitely take it under consideration and try to produce a video for you guys. So it was amazing and a pleasure of speaking to y'all. Please click that subscribe button, click that little bell, and help your girl grow this channel. Help me grow. Thank you.